Socotra is a dream that comes in the imagination of a lot of people, even the scientists. An imperative dream that often attracts us, and the chance has come. Our direction is to one of the world wonders and most mysterious, to see an art of a human history that has not finished, in spite of its oldness. Together we will discover the treasures of nature with its deep meaning in the spirit. In the scene of beautiful morning day, our trip started from Sana'a International Airport, on board of the internal airline to the Dreams Island. A dream comes true, and we live on a carpet of enjoyment and meditation, directing us to Socotra, a land of beauty beyond the kingdom of imagination. The magnificent air scene of the island captured us. The island seemed as three heads, floating between the rough blue sea waves. Immediately after our land at Hadibo City Airport, the capital of the island, we were greeted by the island's art, beauty, and its old humanitarian history. We were welcomed by original Bedouin generosity. Sheikh Ahmed told us about the previous islands suffering from isolation, its people's dreams and customs.
In the early times, the island was living in complete isolation. There was no airport, no seaport, even transportation was not available. But now the situation has changed a lot. After the blessed unity, the island starts to open its eyes on many services, and it starts to join fast with the civilization caravan.
10 million years ago, Socotra archipelago had spread from Al Gondwana continent during the Middle Pliocene era. During this time, Eden Gulf had seceded from the western north area, as shown in the modern scientific maps. The geographical description indicates that Socotra was connected to the southern Arabian Peninsula from Colosseum era to Eden. According to a local legend communicable between Socotrians says, human life originated on Socotra. Some believe it's the birthplace of the first human being. The earliest existence of human and nature secrets on this island may explain some of the historical facts and myths. However, it still a mysterious puzzle for many of scientists and specialists in various fields.
There is a relationship between the caves and the inhabitants of the island. It is considered a very strong relationship. Most of the island's residents dwell in caves. You will not find a family who don't possess a small cave, and they feel it necessary to designate a period of time to sit inside these caves, as the caves are regarded as the most beautiful places for residents to live in peace on the land. From a scientific aspect for cave studies, the aim was many things. Firstly, we extract some rock, and by this typical form of caves, the extracted rock will tell us the type of rocky structure. We can evaluate the thickness of the rocky stratum, which contains calcium carbonate. It is considered an important rock economically due to the fact they have a number of wells containing water, oil and gas.
حتى نوعية صخور كربونات الكالسيوم تعد من أهم الصخور التي كصناعية.
The rock that contain calcium carbonate are considered useful for building. It is used in the white and black cement industry. Because 80% of the limestone has been explored, this gave us a good opportunity to extract this rocky stratum.
هذا أدى إلى أنه يشكل لنا فرصة جيدة لاختراق هذه الطبقات الصخرية. تعمدنا أن نتكلم عن الكهوف.
We intended to talk about caves, and we were very lucky in the exploration of the cave, and know it well from the scientific aspect.
معرفة هذا الكهف من الناحية العلمية. في فترة من الفترات كنت مبعوث لأن
Originally, I was asked to visit Hok Cave for the first time in my life. I lost the way. Then I started to ask many citizens. They stated that there was a cave in the area. So I was the first one who arrived to this cave, and I started to go deeply into this cave as a scientific researcher. Scientifically, this cave was named after me in the caves documents on Socotra Island. This cave is considered one of the most beautiful caves because in the middle of the cave there is a waterfall and a small river that flows down to the bottom.
The Socotrians have their own traditions in their celebration, prevail between them the spirit of cooperation on the level of Alpinism and Bedouin traveler residents in cities, plains and mountains.
When the rain falls in a specific region on the island, people will take their goats and move there. They will live there with their neighbours, so there are no problems. All tribes are characterised by their joint cooperation. Even though every tribe has its own borders and its grasslands, they only have to ask for permission from the sheikh or of a neighbouring tribe, as it is a kind of respect, and he will let them use the land.
Since the dawn of history until this day, Socotra belongs to the southern Arabian Peninsula lands, which was its base in Yemen. The Prophet Nuh was the first one who inhabited this island after the drowning of his ship and the survival of the Arabian Ad tribe who remain on this earth has mentioned in the Holy Quran. In addition, Arabs of the southern Arabian Peninsula belong to this island. Their own antiques still remain in the island.
The Socotrians are unique in their hospitality. Usually youth, male and female, organize regular meetings for poets in every single area of the island.
وبرضه يعني نحن إذا كنا شفنا مثلا نشتي ندخل فيها هكذا إنه أنا نزيد نسحب شوي شوي وبرضه حدنا ما حد يمنع على إحنا من عمل.
نعم. متى تستخدموا يعني؟
Why do you use fire here while you have another kitchen outside?
We use fire here when it's raining because the floods get into the outside kitchen, unlike in the cave. We also use fire here to keep warm in the winter.
Is it possible to see that rock? They told me it is for the bride.
Yes, it's called Al-Ga'ida, and the bride sits on it during her wedding.
This corner is also for the bride?
Yes, this place is reserved for the bride.
How long does she stay here, till she leaves for her new cave with her husband?
She stays here for the period of Al-Dhayfa, which means the wedding party. After that ends, she will go with her husband.
How long does Al-Dhayfa take?
It takes 2 or 3 days. Al-Dhayfa is a breakfast, lunch and dinner party.
After the end of the party and after she met her husband, is there any other party?
Yes. The day after she goes to her husband's house, a small party is prepared. Only dinner is served, and some women will play and dance with her.
Are you happy here?
Yes, thank God. Life is good for us, and we feel happy with our life. Now we have roads and we have cars.
Does the bride go to her husband's house with other women?
Yes. In the early times, our grandparents were living a good life, but it was full of exhaustion. They had to bring their lunch and water on the backs of men and women far distances, about 3 or 4 kilometers. Our ancestors were living in caves, and their lives were based only on herding goats. They had no cars, factories, or an education. They made their livelihood only from yogurt, milk, meat and goats. That was it.
Why do Socotrian people live in caves?
To protect themselves from the rain, sun and many other things, and especially for their safety.
What is the role of the Socotrian women and men on the island?
The role of the man is to provide food, but women have a bigger role. For example, women bring firewood, water, and also take care of the children, housework and herd goats. The women do everything on the island.
So she is considered as the source of living for the family.
She makes the Socotran shamla from wool of sheep, collects the firewood, makes the pottery and sells it. Our women work hard and they never neglect their duties. The Socotran women are great. Come here and let the light of the sun enter the cave.
Socotra linkage by the origin of a human existence. On this earth, its charming natural beauty and its diversity of culture were attractive factors for many ancient world civilization, who called this island by several names in different languages. This land belongs to the dawn of history according to the rest of the world. There are humans who still inhabit caves, and they depend on fire burning by a traditional way, living in a primitiveness method. When you explore the Socotrian nature from its north to south, its hills, valleys, and recognize the natural forms, you will left with a green impression, doubled by Socotrian natural flowers. There are around 65 other traditional handicrafts in Socotra, available today with the seacoast residents and with the farthest rural area in the island. Since she was a young girl, Lady Thuraya working in Socotrian woolen carpet industry, locally named Ash-Shamla. Today, she is one of the famous Socotrian worker ladies in the wool industry. Inside her traditional workshop that is suited next to her house, which roofed by the palm leaf, she produces at least 10 shamlat weekly from local wool that marked by high quality. She takes pride in her work and never gets tired. The basic material in a shamla industry is the wool of sheep. It is forming in the wool factory by traditional and simple materials until Socotrian Shamla becomes in its completed form. Thuraya Simplice is a great example of Socotrian hard worker. Besides her continuous job in the Shamla industry, she is training her grandchildren on practicing this career as a source of living and saving the income. Socotra acquired an important status in the ancient international souk. It was a main historical port in the ancient Yemeni culture, which was expanded its leverage to wide lands from Asia to Africa. Anciently, Socotra was a main point that has a unique value in the international navigational way, and it was an extended trading naval bridge connects Asia, Africa, and Europe. In addition to, it was a naval way for the silk and sacred goods to ascend country, China and Europe. It also became a rest station for the trading ships in the ancient world. Socotra port has reached to higher importance in determining the Yemeni Sheba and Himyar civilization history, due to its most important trading naval ports. Because of Socotra is a placing land by dragon trees, olopanium as sacred goods and its other natural products with its global special status. Socotra has mentioned in plenty of Greek, Roman, Egyptian, and Eastern cultures' heritage in China and India. Most famous explorers in the world civilization wrote about it. There is a historical fact says that Dioscorides, the major Greek herbalist doctor, was the first ancient scientist who came to Socotra for some of the medical remedies from the plants. In the notebooks of foreign and Arab doctors, Socotra was recorded in a formative era. Among them the Yemeni geographer Abu Muhammad al-Hassan al-Hamadani, who visited Socotra in the 10th century. Also Jan de Laroque and more others of travelers and geographers from all over the world. Tanuf, the botanist of Socotra. He is famous by his wisdom in dealing with trees and plants of the island. His relationship with the plants started in an earlier time of his life. In his early professional career, he contacted with his social environment and collected more information about names of plants and its medical benefits, with other inherited knowledge of ancient medicine.
This tree is one of the 8 internationally rarest trees. It's said is very important because of its aromatic properties, and it is used for medication. According to scientific research, it has mysterious names. It can be found in mountains and rough lands.
أعتبرها نادرة من بين هذه 8 الأنواع الموجودة علميا شجرة اللبان. هذه الشجرة
This tree is used to cure typhoid. Grind the tree leaves till they become powder and mix them with honey. Then drink it. Keep on doing that for a week until you recover.
استعملها أكثر من أسبوع وبشيء الله يكون الشفاء محقق بهذا الجانب. هذا النوعية من هذا الشجر.
There is also another rare plant which is seldom to be found. I'm so happy and lucky because I found this plant. It's prepared for people who have anemia, as it has vital vitamins.
وتخبط لأنه عنده فيتامين قوي.
Here in Ihevit Valley, to the west of Hadibo, Tanuf comes incessantly bringing the inserted medicine for his coming patients from all over the world. In this valley there is the biggest natural protectorate for rare plants. It is like a natural pharmacy and a workshop for the Socotrian herbalist doctor. The protectorate concludes more than 300 rare kinds of trees and plants in the world. Number of applied and theoretical studies were made about it, and it carries scientific and various local names. The herbalist medicine in the island forms part of people's life. In addition to other products, there is the well-known Socotrian honey. The bees grow in special hives on dragon trees. Honey is used in the herbalist medicine as well as other remedies from rare plants.
We are here on Socotra Island to try to find out more about Socotri bees and the qualities of Socotri honey. What should be known about Socotri bees is that they were not part of trade thousands of years ago, though they were found in many parts of the Arabian Peninsula. Ever since humans started keeping bees, they also started to include them in foreign trade, bringing them from Australia, Europe, and some countries of the Middle East, such as Lebanon, Syria, and Egypt. Since then, beekeepers started to exchange bees and gather kinds from all over the world. However, this impacted original bees called Apis Yemeni Tika.
Cette abeille s'appelle Apis Yemenitica. Alors, après notre
When we arrived to Socotra Island, we began searching for bees and soon found out that these original bees, Apis Yemeni Tika, were the ones dominating the island.
Les éleveurs de rennes,
Queen beekeepers and others have been searching for these original bees in some parts of the world in order to use them for breeding a new kind of original bee that will be able to resist the dryness that is now found in many parts of the world.
plus résistante à la sécheresse qui pourrait. Donc, il faut savoir que cette abeille Apis Yemenitica.
We must know that this type of bee has the ability to resist dryness and to keep working in high temperatures, even with small amounts of pollen.
De sources de nectar et de pollen. Concernant le miel de Socotra.
Concerning Socotri honey, it is a special kind of Yemeni honey because it originates from rare and natural trees that are not found in any other place in the world. That is why it is organic honey, with no chemical cell modifications and free from rare disease.
De grande culture, pas de maladies.
Many rare trees can be found in Socotra. That is why its honey is pure and has a special taste to it. Demand for this honey has lately increased in Arab countries, and it has become better known in Europe as well. Socotra tells about the history deepness of its trees, leaves, and flowers since the ancient eras. Intensive studies record today many of rare kinds of plants in the world. It is distinguishing by its rareness because its trees cannot grow up in any other place in the world. As a place of scientific and knowledge research,
Socotra Island has become today a destination for all researchers and studiers of the global high universities, because it considers one of the world's richest areas by its unique zones. As a result, it has acquired a huge wide fame that is comparing with Galapagos Island, which located in the Pacific Ocean. The island has a unique natural and environment characteristic features. The Italian traveler Marco Polo anciently described the island that is alive with all life necessaries. Socotra poses today a global concern because its richness, environmental variety of plants, birds and animals.
They're interesting taxonomically, so they may be important species, or they're rare or endangered, or just for educational 60-degree panorama photographs for 75 different sites around Socotra in 1999 and 2008. So now we just need to go back and compare the results and do some analysis. And it's the first time that any surveys have been rotation, which is good, because the sites were chosen based on areas that they thought were the most at risk. So areas where maybe there was a lot of goats, or there was possibly going to be lots of development for tourists or for growth in population.
Lisa is a botanist from the British Royal Garden. She has spent a long time to study the characteristics and advantages of plants and trees between the Socotrian nature. Lisa, in her new field, she is trying to discover new kinds of plants and introduce scientific study of the different plants' benefits. The British botanist moves from place to other between forests of Socotra and presenting the necessary guidelines to the local residents on how to preserve this plant's life. Lisa was not the only one who works in this field. Beside her, a number of European experts who spread different studies on nature and an environment of Socotra. Dragon tree is called in the Socotrian language arhib. According to its fame, it has been well known in the ancient world since Socotra drew its significance from this tree. Many accounts and legends were narrated about this tree. Nowadays, it represents a kind of popular culture for Yemenis in general and Socotrian people in particular. One myth which dates back to the ancient impetuous world and the beginning of humanity. The creation of this tree with redrantage in its roots, which is similar to human blood, is attributed by the legend to that fact. Its first seedling irrigated by the first bloodshed event on earth, when evil defeated man, forcing Abel to kill his brother Cain.
When you are talking about Socotra, that means you are talking also about the dragon tree. And when you are talking about the dragon tree, that means you are talking about Socotra. After certain studies which have been made in 2004-2005, there are 307 kinds of plants which can be found anywhere else in the world. Socotra is famous with the dragon tree, alpinium and several kinds of cactuses. But the strange tree on the face of earth is the Socotrian pumpkin or the Socotrian cucumber. Its scientific name is Dendricius, which this tree makes it as considered as the strangest tree on earth. Why? Because it is known that the tree of pumpkin, watermelon and cucumber are reptilian plants, whereas the Socotrian pumpkin or the Socotrian cucumber trees are huge and they have a big trunk, so that they are considered strange in Socotra. And that's why in the whole world, despite of that, the dragon tree is the most famous one. And we have also the Socotrian cactus. Its scientific name is Alwivra. It's internationally known in its use in medicines and also in the issues that are used for makeup, and also it takes for healthy situation and so on. To sum it up, there is the Socotrian Olpanium and there are other trees such as Kartab. It is very known in the Socotra Island. Till today, in this nursery we have collected more than 87 kinds of these rare plants which threatened to extinction. This nursery is the first one in this island. We face a lot of difficulties and people started mocking at us at the beginning and during the collection of these trees. But now the nursery becomes an internationally known place. It has been visited for the first time by at least 13 ambassadors of the European Union.
Highlands occupy the central part of Socotra, while narrow coastal plains extend northward and becoming wider as we get south. The archipelago climate is hot. During the months May to August, the island comes under a strong southwestern winds, forcing the citizens to shelter old caves in the upper lands and evacuate coastal areas. Ships are also banned from their routine activities during this month due to the strong tide and surge. But during the rest of the year, Socotra turns to be a green paradise and moderate climate. Socotra Archipelago is a coral sandy coast with a calcareous hill full of comprehensive cave systems, and the marvelous Hajar mountain, which its highest altitude reached to 1,525 meters. Along the year, covered by fog, and the flowing of water does not stop, even in the scarcity of rains. The capital of Socotra, called Hadibo and its old name, is Tumarido by the Socotrian language. This name revealed to the most existent for dates in the area. Almost 2/3 Socotra residents inhabit this area. Their numbers almost reach to 60,000 and several services are available there.
They are opening to the world now. There is airport and tourists, and this is a good thing. And there are hotels and camping, and because they are proud. But with these people come cars and oil and litter and plastic bottles, and there are very precious endemic plants here that are unique, and some people want to take them away. So the idea of the Socotra Conservation Fund is to be more aware that they have a fantastic history of managing their environment. The Yemen terraces and wadis and trees and management, there is nowhere better in the world. So my work is in general to try to conserve Yemen's traditions of managing their environment themselves. There are many ideas from outside, of course, that we need, and resources, but to make the Yemeni realize, and the Socotrans, that actually they have the knowledge and the history, and if they leave that, all manner of modern idea will not work. They have to remember their heritage and the knowledge they have from 5,000 years.
Socotra Archipelago is an explored world in the middle of the Indian Ocean. It has become today internationally famous as one of the most important sites in the world, number 29. It is one of 8 new natural cultural locations that have been listed by UNESCO during the 32nd session of the International Heritage Committee during July 2008. But today, Socotra needs more explorations, researches, and local and international interests to preserve the mysterious password of this wonderful island in the Indian Ocean.